Well, episode 3 is in the books. Welcome to the Hard Knocks after party, after show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick. My man Anson Wells is in here. And, of course, Spenmo Rax from the heavyweights and also Big D Energy. The guy pretty much does everything around here and hanging out at 11 o'clock tonight to do the show with us. I like this episode. The first one's still my favorite just because I think I was so damn hyped for it. But this episode here, man, this got me hyped. I don't know if it was because they were playing another team during it or I just got to see Dan Campbell back on the big screen again over here in the Lions Den at Woodward Sports. But, Anson, what'd you think of this episode?
It felt like the third date.
Oh, that's when you close.
It is.
Third date's when you close.
Absolutely.
If you don't know, that's dating etiquette, by the way. If you don't close on the third date, it's time to move on.
Friend zone. Yeah. But so for me, I saw a complete change in tone here. This was the third date. You know, the first couple, we were real excited for that first date. We got a chance to meet all these guys that we heard them signing last year, that we saw some progress with throughout the season. But this third episode, all the fun and games were over.
Right.
The loss stung, kind of pissing that away with the fumble to end the first game. Then we come out and we actually have some practice head on with the Colts all week, head down to Indy, and there was a very serious tone throughout this episode. The fun and games ended. And that's really what my favorite part of today was.
Yeah, what about you, Spencer? Did you, in ranking episodes right now, where does this rank in the 3?
Yeah.
This is number 2 for me. Number 1, 3, then 2.
I think it's got to be number 1 for me. You know, we saw, like you said, we saw him going up against the Colts in the practice, then in the game. You saw them thumping with the other guys. You saw Jamal getting into it with the guy that, like you said, we saw the beef they had on Twitter after that happened in live practice. So it was just awesome to see them out on the field actually making plays, actually going at it. You see the fans, the family that are there. There are gut-wrenching performances out of different guys, like Khalil Pippen's mom. When Tom Kennedy caught the touchdown, she's like, "Oh, it should have been 83, but I'm all right with it." So I like that. I like the realism of this episode.
Boy,
yeah.
Easy's wife did not seem too easy.
That girl. I love him. I love him. That's my husband. I love him. It was, I love him. Like, all right. But let's start at the beginning of the episode, because I just want to make sure we're walking through everything and not missing. That's why I take notes. This is the only TV show that I've ever taken notes on. But the first thing they showed was Dan Campbell talking after the loss last week, right? And it said the one thing that irritated him is they had control of the game, they gave it away, and those are self-inflicted wounds, and that's the last bit of losing mentality that these Lions have to get over. Yeah. He brought out the pants with whatever the hell was in those pants.
A lot of talcum powder.
Yeah, and shook out the talcum powder, but he's like, that's the stuff we have to get rid of. That's how we got to move on. And it's true. I mean, like, if we're putting it all together, those last little moments have always bit the Lions in the ass, whether it's a penalty that bites you in the ass, whether it's not being able to take the correct angle and get the proper tackle, whether it's letting Aaron Rodgers throw a fucking Hail Mary. Like, we've always had those issues, and I'm glad to see him addressing them early.
Sure. And it's that SOL, same old Lions. We touched on this last week. The way they ended that game, you can bring in all the attitude and new faces you want, but at the end of the game, you need a W and not a loss. We got another loss stacked up on us last week. Seeing that that change is what we needed this week out of them. We need to see them shake all that crap out of their pants and get that last bit of losing out of them, that mentality, that thought creeping in the back of your mind, oh, here we go again. And, I was reading, should I say, a lot about the joint practices in Indy, and it sounded like we were getting our ass handed to us. At least the defense was in game one.
Day one, it sounded like that we were getting manhandled all over the field, but you saw it kind of turn a little bit.
100%. And then I think my specific favorite part of this episode was Jamal getting into their heads. Now, right away it didn't pay off, but day 2 it sure looked like they were in the Colts' head, and that seems like it played true when they ended up on the actual field playing the real game. And that's something that I've never, ever seen out of this Lions team since the early 90s, where they had a swagger and they were making the other team worry about them instead of just putting a W next to the Lions for how many decades now.
Right. The quote here that I got from Dan Campbell is, when we have a game, we own that game, we finish that game. And that's the message that he wanted to send. And they didn't really finish this preseason game. They did. They won it. They finished it on that last play, which I have in here too. I was under the impression that preseason games don't matter, right? Like, to me, and I think everybody, it's like, all right, they went 4-0 the year they went 0-16. Do preseason games really even matter?
Not to the Patriots.
You watched after that, like, every guy that they showed on the screen and flashed like 20 of them saying winning matters. Mm-hmm. Winning is everything. 100%. Winning is the only thing. And then you see Dan Campbell just talk about, man, winning's so good. Whether it's croquet, whether it's chess, whether it's beating ass, like winning is just so good. So as much as I don't put stock into preseason wins, it's good to get a glimpse behind the curtain and understand that it actually meant something to these guys.
Yeah, and we need that change in mentality and belief here. You look at the Ravens. You know the Ravens are pretty much going to be in the playoffs every year. They won their last 22 straight preseason games, which, again, doesn't mean a whole lot, but it's a mentality. It's a winning culture. We're walking in on Friday with 8 straight losses. So no one in this new regime, no one knows what it's like to start the season off right. And what we saw was baby steps. We saw them come in and get their ass handed to them on Wednesday. And then Thursday, they changed the tone. And one thing that Campbell said that I thought was important was good teams come back for more. And you figure after they ran their mouth, the Colts thought they were going to come and kind of step on them. And that's not what happened. Mm-mm. The Colts at home had an opportunity to come out and show the Lions who were boss, and they didn't. And even though it was very close, and one of the things I wrote down before the episode was, what did I want to see more of? What did I want to see change? What did I want to see new? I want to see that win. I'll take it however we got it, because I thought that win was super important.
Yeah, no, the win was important, and like I said, you saw it when Dan Campbell was addressing the team afterwards. You saw that, Dan Campbell and I have a similar neck vein when we yell and get like, it's like, all right, that guy's super into it. But what did you think of that little intro they showed of Dan Campbell and the coaching staff walking in? I felt like it was like a TGI or TGIF. Remember the TGIF intros for Family Matters and stuff like that? Dan Campbell getting out of the car, giving you the nod. What the hell was that?
Where was that week 1 and 2?
I don't know. They brought it in.
Some baby back ribs in their future.
But then that went into Obina Easy, our boy Easy. They talked to him in the first episode. Remember, him and Hutchinson were talking while they were in the hot tub, and they're like, why'd you choose Memphis? He's like, I didn't even know where the hell Memphis was. I don't know. I just went there. But they spent a lot of time on him this episode.
They must like him. I know that the ceiling is high on him. They think that there's a lot of potential. Again, they harped on the fact that he's only been playing organized football for 7 years. Seems like he's improving. I always kind of wonder, though, watching this Hard Knocks over the years, do they have 12 different groups out following a bunch of different guys, and whoever has a good game, whoever ends up with a story that week, Blau's perfect timing, to be following him and his fiancee wife, and the Pimpleton thing this week. Either way, it's great to be able to see these families and to be able to see these guys like Easy and through their struggles and through their families supporting him and up and down with every single play. But seems like he might be making a case to make the 53.
Joey 2 times in the chat. Easy's wife looks like Brittany Griner. She was intense.
Thank you.
She was intense. We got a special guest joining us right now on the line. Her name is Madeline Miller, Lions beat reporter for the Woodward Sports Network. You have chandeliers in your house. How rich are you, Maddie?
Yeah, I make a good living here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Ballin'. Obviously you watched Hard Knocks. You've been at the practice today, and you've been close up with Dan Campbell. What we see on Hard Knocks, how close is that to what you see in real life?
It's identical. And that's something that, honestly, we asked Deuce Staley today was, is this the person that you are because of Hard Knocks, or is this the person that you actually are? And he was like, I have no reason to be anybody else. This is 1,000% who I am. Aaron Glenn said the same thing. Dan Campbell said the same thing. So what you see is definitely what you're getting.
Awesome. Love that. And when you're watching Hard Knocks, are you looking at like certain players that you've seen stand out during camp being like, well, why aren't they highlighting this guy? Or are you like, I knew they were going to show that?
Well, it goes both ways. A couple people are like, oh, okay, I wasn't really watching him before, but now that's where my eyes are going. Or, this is a person that I saw early on, but I wasn't really sure if we were ever going to see him on Hard Knocks because of his personality. Like, some of these guys are just a little bit quieter, so I think they're not getting as much attention. But obviously we're seeing Hutch and we're seeing Rodrigo and we're seeing the big name guys come out.
Rodrigo was fun to watch today. Kind of getting a chance to get to know him last week, and then the jump to now they're already talking about him starting. What's the feeling around the team with him and Rodrigo's progression as a rookie?
It's amazing. Everybody has been super pumped up and supportive. Every time he gets on the field, you can tell the energy is a little bit higher, which I think is a really cool thing. He's one of those guys that is pumped up to be on the field. It's just like Aiden Hutchinson. Like, we hear them get all fired up when they're on the field saying, this is so much fun. Like, they love team definitely feeds.
Yeah, we need to keep those two guys together for the next 10 years. A hell of a tandem up front and in the middle.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of the episode tonight when they had to yell at him for going back out on the field in the first preseason game. They're like, hey, Rodrigo, listen, when I tell you you're done, you're done. We had an incident last time when he ran back out there. But you love to see that out of a rookie, right?
Yeah, it's nice to see these guys, young guys, coming in and bringing that energy and really bringing everybody else their good sides out. Dan Campbell talked about that today in a press conference as well. Like, when you get good talent around other good talent, they push each other, and it's that competitive factor. So.
Well, all right, Maddie, you watched the practice tonight. It was a night practice. How did it go?
It was great. It was fun. I haven't been out to a night practice since, I was in college, so it's been a while. But it was fun to get the guys out there, and it was definitely an intense practice. So a lot of hard hitting, a lot of trash talking happening. But again, the energy was there, and they were having a good time as well.
All right, and what's your schedule like tomorrow? Is there another practice tomorrow?
We're off tomorrow.
Okay, off tomorrow.
We'll be back on Thursday.
Awesome. Then we'll see you in the building.
Yeah, you will. I'll be there.
All right. Lions beat reporter Madeline Miller joining us from her chateau with chandeliers. Thank you very much. We appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow in the office. It's so cool that, I love that we're almost 6 degrees of separation, but it's 1 degree of separation away from Dan Campbell. Like, we know people who know Dan Campbell. D-Mac shook his hand today, and one day, Dan Campbell, me and you, we're going to crush some beers together.
Well, they certainly knew who they were getting and who they needed to go get. And it really seems, as we get to know this guy, that he is Detroit. He just embodies the hard-nosed, blue-collar mentality here. But, we're a bunch of drunken sailors here, too. We like a guy that shoots off the cuff, but we like a guy that wins, most importantly. And the excitement that I have, I don't want these 5 episodes to end.
Only 2 left. There's only 2 left.
But I can't wait for the damn season to start, too.
Yes. That's and then you brought that to my point. No. There's 17 more episodes after this. It's every Sunday at 1 o'clock. Right. And that's fair, but damn, I love seeing this behind the curtain stuff. Let's talk a little bit about Deuce Staley. And when he was talking like this, yelling at all the players. How those guys were not laughing their ass off while they were getting their ass reamed. Like, have you ever had anybody yell at you while they're on helium? Like, that's what I felt like. Just like, what are you guys doing out there?
I was laughing as hard as I was laughing when Justin Tucker buried that 66-yard kick.
I hate you for that. I think you were wearing the same outfit, too.
Hey, it's Honolulu Blue, baby. Come on. Yeah, I'm back to the Justin Tucker kick. That was a tough day, man.
But what'd you think? I don't want to talk about that. We're talking about this here. We're talking about right now. We're talking about Hard Knocks. We're talking about Deuce Staley not being. Why are you bringing up old shit?
Because I'm just still laughing. Honestly, I don't think I've ever heard the word fuck said in a small child's voice more repeatedly in a small 2-minute stanza like that. I lost it. I'm still crying from that, man.
What are you doing out there? Spence, you ever had an old coach yell at you like that?
Yeah. One of my coaches, Coach Waz, back in the day, used to lose his voice all the time. Baxter, get out there! What are you doing? All that stuff like that. So I'm used to it a little bit, but it's still funny every time you hear it.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the highlights of the episode. Other highlights. You guys got anything else that stood out to you?
You know, I think one of the things that I found interesting that I kind of had lost interest in, and the only reason that we even delved that deep into the running back situation was because of the injuries that we had last year. We want to see Swift dominate the ball. We know what we've got in Jamal. But, Godwin and Netflix last year really came in and brought this team a spark. Got a chance to kind of see a little bit about those guys today, and that was kind of interesting to the point where I really want a lot of these running backs to make the team. My big thing, though, this is my takeaway. Season's over in a little over 4 months, right?
Yeah.
Are we going to see Dan Campbell on WWE? I think this is real.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't show Pat McAfee because he was there at the practice last week at Indy, and McAfee he's a part of that. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Would you?
No, it makes a lot of sense. All the personalities fit. I feel like Dan Campbell would be a big WWE guy. So
I could definitely be the champ, bro.
Yeah. They called him Hulk Hogan. The comedian called him Hulk Hogan. So, I mean, he fits right in. Yeah.
Your brother. And I loved how he called Aiden Hutchinson an overgrown Backstreet Boy. Yeah. Like, that fits him so well, man.
For sure.
So well. One thing that stood out to me, who stands out all the time, I know we talk about him all the time, but Jamal Williams, does he ever not entertain? But today, it wasn't just the dancing. It wasn't just him being silly. It's like, when it's go time, that is not a dude to be messed with. No. Like, he was hitting hard. He was going at it hard. He was talking trash. He's the nicest dude in the world. But on the field, that guy is violent.
He's fearless in Honolulu Blue. And you absolutely have to have a guy on your team if you expect to do big things. You got to have a guy like that on your team. Every championship team has always had one of those guys, a barker who backs it up with his actions. I loved the way he turned that practice on end in Indy. Even though it didn't end that day, the next day the Lions came and backed his words up, and then they backed it up on the field for the Friday night win. I love watching him. He's can't miss football, can't miss TV.
What did you think about Jamal?
Oh, I love it. I love Jamal. Like I said before, anime guy, big anime guy myself, so I love to see that. But I do want to address, like, Looted Corpse says Jamal Williams, Swift. Swift is our starter. Swift is the better back. Like, don't get it twisted. Just because Jamal Williams is the good guy, the fun guy to root for, like, Swift is our guy. That is our number one running back. We want him to succeed, and he is a better player. But I love Jamal Williams.
Yeah, you saw Swift catching that deep ball from Goff in the co-practice too, and it looked like the offense was just kind of having their way with him. But yeah, Swaggy just does what he does, man. It's so funny that, like, he literally is the nicest guy in the world, but now he's trash talking on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Like, he's the guy that the Lions need. The Lions need that guy that comes out every single day, and you saw it in episode 1 with him. Dan Campbell's like, I ain't got to worry about you. You show up ready, and you need those guys to set the tone.
Yep. Just bring that swagger, get in other guys' heads, patting your own guys on the back and lowering the shoulder and putting that Rydell on their chin.
Yeah. Put that Rydell on their chin. I love that. Another running back that stood out, and they did a little storyline on Craig Reynolds.
Yeah.
Like,
Netflix?
The way they set up that storyline, too. Like, he's FaceTiming with his brother. You don't really see his brother.
His brother's talking shit,
and
too.
He's like, I'm stuck in this hotel room. Like, it's so small in here. I'm here all day, and then I just get to play a little bit of football. But it ain't nothing on you. And then they pan the camera, and they show that dude's in prison or jail, whichever way you want to word it.
12 years now or something.
Yeah, been there a long-ass time. And then Craig Reynolds shows out in the preseason game. I mean, he did well for us last year, but he even said it in this episode that, hey, it's kind of a what you've done for me lately situation here in the Lions running back room.
Yeah, he looked effective over the weekend, and that man is all trapezoids. That dude was huge. Again, that's an intriguing thing to me. I mean, from a fantasy standpoint, we always like seeing who the backup running backs are, and again, like he said, Swift is the man, and we hope that he stays healthy and dominates and proves Deuce Staley to be a soothsayer in the fact that he's the best running back in the league. But we do need compliments, and our offensive line is going to dictate a ground and pound game. And I think that we've got the backs. They're all a little different. They're all complementary. And to be able to spell a guy like Swift with the different options that we have, it's going to be interesting to see who sticks around.
Yeah, and when they took Craig Reynolds out of the game, I know he was disappointed, but I took that as a sign of, like, you proved yourself, bro. There's nothing else you can do besides get injured right now. Like, and we don't want that, so chill and hang out. Like, he's going to make the team.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, doesn't he get it? But then I'm realizing that we look at this from a fantasy point of view. We're like, well, if he got a lot of touches on week 1 and week 2, that's probably not a good thing, you know. He got his early touches, and they got what they wanted to see, and he delivered. He gave them everything that they needed to see for him to be safe one more week.
We got the people in the chat right now. Can you throw up a poll on this, too,
Yeah.
whether you think Craig Reynolds is making the team or not? Because it's kind of going back and forth. Craig Reynolds is too good. We need to keep him a secret. Fight Forever said that. Reynolds greater than Swift. That's Hunter said that. Craig Reynolds is out of here. Joey 2 times says that. I think he's got to be out. He was on the squad last year. He performed, and he showed out this last week. Why would you cut this guy?
I mean, if we're keeping 4 or 5, there's no reason for him not to be on the team. If we only keep 4, we'll see. But I'm pretty sure that he's effective on special teams from the little that I do know of his special team performance. The guy did show out last year, but it was also in some different circumstances where we needed to fill those, empty running back shoes. I like him. I like him to make it.
What do you think, Spence? Making the squad?
Yeah, for sure, sure. I think he's the solidified RB3. He's going to make this team no problem. I think Jamar Jefferson is going to be the odd man out. Him and Igwebuike. I think it's going to be obviously Swift, Jamal, Craig, and then Justin Jackson as our
Justin
fourth
Jackson
back.
looked good too.
You think Jackson's going to make it over Jefferson?
Yeah.
I do. I think his track record shows that he can be a 2
I
to
love
3.
Jamar Jefferson.
Yeah.
I do. I think he's a great running back. I really do. And he showed it last year when he was a rookie and got in the game. If he wouldn't gotten injured, he would have put up some numbers for us.
Yeah. I think there's enough talent between the 5 to keep them around. Godwin has a little bit more ability than just a running back, so he's a guy that they might keep in there. But I think Netflix will be on this season in Detroit.
Yeah, well, the good news is anybody running behind this offensive line should be a productive running back in the NFL. Like, it's nice to know that we're at that point. And what's interesting is Hard Knocks really hasn't focused on our offensive line yet.
Keep it a secret.
It's not a secret. That's like our main thing.
Yeah.
But it said no Lions fan for 30 years. I'm excited about that. I think we saw them just moving the Colts up and down the field on Friday. And as long as we stay healthy, there's no reason that can't continue, especially if we've got 4, even maybe 5 running backs to keep in the mix and really ask less of Jared Goff. That's another thing that I'm surprised is, like, maybe they got enough of Goff through the first 2 Hard Knocks seasons that he was in, because we haven't seen or heard really anything.
But there really is no storyline with him. Like, he's the starter.
Isn't.
That's it.
Yeah.
He's our guy. I mean, and if they want to put his fiance up there, I'm down for that.
Stop it.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Now, again, here's my list.
Shut
I
up.
wanted more and I
You have that
wanted
video,
less of
Spence?
things.
I can probably find it.
We got a lot less of one thing, and I read all over. People did not want to see the Hutchinson family. Did you
We
miss
didn't
them?
see them at all.
Did you miss them?
I didn't even realize it. No, I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Did you see Fish met the hot sister?
Yeah.
Did he?
In Plymouth?
The quiet one?
The Michigan one.
Okay, because she's hotter than the loud one.
Either way, Fish met her in Plymouth.
And he wore her tiara.
He wore her tiara and got a picture with her.
Oh, man, Fish.
I know. He had every opportunity to ask for her number, but it's Fish.
He's playing the long game.
He is playing the long game.
He's playing the long game.
He's making her think about him.
I see your game, Fish.
Well, yeah, he posted on his Instagram, and he got to meet Aiden Hutchinson, too. Let's talk a little bit about Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, every week this kid's impressing. He's violent. Like, we were watching him run those drills, and just his rip-through move. Like me and Spence were saying, he's going to break someone's arm with how violent he is on the field.
And it seems like he just builds and learns every damn down.
Yeah.
Like if he makes a mistake, he's coming back 3 times as hard and quick, and he's fooling that guy. And then he's going to learn another mistake, and he's going to bring that Michigan education to the game. I said it, but the guy
from a Sparty, that's tough.
I know it is, but he's not a Wolverine anymore in my book. He's Honolulu Blue, but AG said it. It's good to know you're real, and seeing him just, man, it's really, really exciting. I don't think Robert Porsche was this good.
It's good. Well, time will tell on that.
Yeah,
Porsche was an animal.
Yes, he was.
But yeah, I'm with you. It's nice to see Aaron Glenn, and this is not the first time we've seen this in Hard Knocks too. Just talking about how they validate what Hutchinson is, where they drafted him. It's a Dennis Green. We are who we thought they were. And that's what we got with Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
It's the real deal, and you even saw him during the practice recovering a fumble. You saw him putting pressure on the quarterback, and the quarterback just throwing the ball into the ground. Like, you don't want no part of this man.
Yeah,
none.
And when you compared him to Kayvon Thibodeau in the draft process, Kayvon Thibodeau was a one-dimensional guy. He was a rusher, edge rush. What you get in Hutch is so much more. You're getting a true leader out there. You're getting a guy that can make adjustments, a guy that's capable to drop into coverage, a guy that can stop the run, a guy that can get after the running back. And what his presence is meaning to this team, not only on the field, but it seems like he's very well liked already. It's just something that we haven't had since Robert Porsche was here.
Yeah, you don't really see him as a vocal leader just yet. But you definitely see him as an energy leader, and how he practices, he sets the tone. Because you saw, what was that, episode 2 when we were watching? It was like, damn, this dude goes hard every single play. And they addressed that a lot with several guys on the team, man. Yeah. Like, it's funny that they watch film on the practice, too. Like, they catch their ass slacking.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, they brought it up.
It's not just about highlighting. It's about, hey, man, you took this practice play off. Like, they are on their ass.
Yeah.
I love that.
You love that. You love the attention to detail. You love, and like the other thing I liked about was when Deuce Staley and Dan Campbell were sitting in their office talking before they went to Indy, and they were like, "Yeah, this part of training camp is when people get bored because they've been there before. They've done it. They know."
Calvin Johnson said the same thing.
Yeah. It's like yeah, we saw them switch it up this week with the player run practice yesterday, with the night practice today. You got to give these guys a little something, to get them excited again, to get those juices flowing after OTAs, mini camp, and now training camp. It's a long, grueling process, and they know because they've done it before. So it's cool to see that.
And you saw just how much importance Dan Campbell put on this co-practice. Yeah. He said, "This is it. Like, we're going to come out of this knowing who we are. We're going to come out of this knowing who you are." So to me, this week was like the major audition for the guys that were on the bubble.
So out of all the boy bands, who is Hutchinson?
He looks like Nick Carter, doesn't he?
Nick Lachey, right?
No, Nick Carter. Backstreet Boy kid.
Yeah. Who's the guy that was married to Daisy Duke?
That's Nick Lachey.
That's who I was feeling. No?
No.
I'm kind of lost on boy bands. I was never into it.
Then why'd you bring it up?
Because they brought it up.
Grilling me up on boy band knowledge when we're talking about
if there's anybody
the
that
damn
knows boy
team.
bands in this place, it's Mr. Radio himself.
Yeah, I worked at Top 40 Radio my whole life. I know everything. I know more than I should.
Can you name all the members?
That's not what we're here for right now, Anson. Unless we're talking, Michael Jackson. We can talk that boy band.
Yeah.
Jackson 5, that's a boy band. We can talk Michael Jackson, get back to Aiden Hutchinson, and get back to the
Deuce Michael Jackson Staley out there today. Yeah. I got a question. Is a win important this week?
a week before I watched that episode, I was said, no, it doesn't really matter. It's about how the starters play. But now that I see like how much an actual preseason win meant to those guys, it meant something. I didn't know that they hadn't won one in like 8 games either. Like to me, preseason literally means nothing. I watch the starters, and that's it. And as long as we come out healthy, but this seems to be a little bit different preseason, right? This seems to be setting the tone for the year that's to come, not just trying to get through 3 games.
It's completely changing the tone. You know, it's something that's sorely needed for this team, and I'm gonna push it even further. It's not just a win. They can't limp and back themselves into a win like they did this week. I want to see them come out and dominate, and then I want to see them hold that 17-point lead and tack on an extra field goal at the end of the game and finish this preseason the way that it should be.
Yeah, that's one thing us Lions fans don't get a lot of, wire-to-wire dominant wins. I can maybe count like 5 in my lifetime where we just come out.
We had one against the Cardinals last year.
Yep, man, so those are nice.
Yeah,
not many of them, though. That's
that
one
was
last
shocking.
year.
Yeah. That was a shocking game. We talked about that before the game. Did we have a chance in this one?
Yeah. Thank you, Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
And they paid that man a lot of money.
Yeah.
They paid him a lot.
Well, all right, that's the recap. Half-hour show. That's what we do every Tuesday right here at Woodward Sports because it's Hard Knocks. We got to talk about it. We want to talk about it. You want to talk about it. That's a good name. We haven't seen anything on DJ Chark.
No DJ Chark.
Not one thing.
No Okuda. No.
Well, we saw Okuda get burnt by Pimpleton trying to catch up.
We haven't even seen Ben Johnson's face for more than 2 seconds.
That's true.
I guarantee. Me and Easy talked about it. I was like, I bet if you polled the non-football elite community,
put yourself on camera.
They would think that Deuce Staley is the offensive the offensive coordinator because Ben Johnson was on the screen for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I would assume the same thing.
Yeah.
It seems like Deuce just runs the whole damn show. Even when he's talking like this, get the damn ball.
I still want to see some Jamison Williams. Damn it.
What do you want to see? What do you want to see? Standing there?
A 3-second interview, something. Let me get a little bit.
I'm Jamison Williams. Yeah. I won't play because I'm on the PUP list. Thank you. There, you just saw Jamison Williams.
He's a better soundbite than that.
Hi, I'm Jamison Williams. I catch footballs.
He did draft him in his Dynasty League, so he's still on that Kool-Aid. I can't believe you don't want to see him a little bit.
It doesn't matter. I don't want to see Jamison Williams till he's 1,000,000% healthy. Not 99.9, not 100, 1,000,000%
You don't want to know
healthy.
what he's like?
I watched what he was like in college. He's on tape already. Like Jay-Z said, you like my old stuff? Go buy my old album. You want to see Jamison Williams? Go watch his old tape.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
fair enough.
Chark is going to be interesting. I do want to see more of him. I'm surprised we haven't. But thank you guys for being a part of the show. Make sure you like and subscribe to YouTube right now for Woodward Sports. Make sure you support the heavyweights from 5 to 7. And thank you guys for being a part of this. And Detroit football fans, Anson and I are going to be doing the post games. Every game starting at the 2-minute warning. We're going to go live right here on YouTube from the Brass Rail downtown right by Ford Field. So come hang out at the Brass Rail for every game this postseason. I can't wait. Maybe a postseason game. But every game this season at the Brass Rail. Come down, hang out. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week for episode 4 of Hard Knocks.